We have assisted me in the opining department. Old friends of the show. First, Robert Weiner, Democratic strategist, columnist, and former communications director for Clinton drug czar General Barry McCaffrey. He's also former chief of staff of the House Committee on Aging, as well as being former communications director for Congressman Charlie Rangel of New York, as well as Congressman Conyers of Michigan. Good to have you as well, Bob. Bob, good to have you back.
Thank you, Alan. And I guess we're not talking about Romney's moment of cowardice, not denying the woman's question, saying that Obama should be tried for treason.
Given the number of things that are going on in the world, I'm not sure the gas prices are going to follow that dramatically anyway, although it would be great if they did.
Bob, how do you see it?
Well, first, I have difficulty using Barton as an expert when he said that BP was a victim of a U.S. shakedown for the Gulf oil spill, and boy, did he have to retract and wheel around eventually on that one. But I don't have a problem, Alan, with Keystone coming through, but I do think that we have to decide that it's environmentally safe, and at least we should make that decision so that we don't have the kind of thing with fracking that has been determined now to have been responsible for 14 earthquakes in Ohio by going deep underground and barreling the earth. So when we decide that it's safe, I'm all for it.
It is creating a very low-cost natural gas, and we may be getting to a point in this country where we can shift vehicles to natural gas and actually become energy independent from the Middle East.
I got to come back at that, Alan, because the Google is a wonderful thing. Scientific American, Ohio earthquakes likely caused by fracking. Ohio agency says fracking-related activity caused earthquakes.
But they backed
USA
off on
Today, fracking waste tied to earthquakes.
On board as well, Bob Weiner, Robert to his wife, Democratic strategist, columnist, former communications director for Clinton drug czar General Barry McCaffrey, former chief of staff for the House Committee on Aging, and, of course, former communications director for both Congressman Rangel and Conyers of New York and Michigan, respectively. Bob, good to have you back as well.
And you too. And anybody ask Romney what his position is on gay marriage when he was probably for it in Massachusetts but against it in the primaries here?
I think he's on safer ground. What's that again? Say that, Amy?
He's kind of obsessed with. Bob is kind of obsessed with Romney.
Well, he's the opponent, but why not? If we're going to blast Obama, let's get the position from Romney.
Now, Bob, do you understand why the EPA is seen as having a less than strong moral authority in this area? Why it is that so many perceive them to be of a bad faith endeavor? Your take.
Well, if we're talking about Roman gladiators and villages, I would ask people if they enjoy cancer and the fact that we're 45th in the world in life expectancy. You want to cut EPA off at the knees, as Inhofe, the great denier of anything man-made, does. We are going to enjoy Gingrich's
No, Bob, again, you're using a disconnected measure. Bob, you've already lost the argument. Can you see how behavior like this erodes the reputation of the EPA and strips away from them a credibility they might otherwise enjoy, Bob Weiner?
So does denial of global warming, gas mileage, and clean water and air.
You
and the
cannot excuse one person's bad behavior by pointing to another.
Of course it has the right to law enforcement, not exceeding law enforcement, but of course it has the right to law enforcement. That's what it's supposed to do, to protect gas mileage, clean water, clean air, and not have us die, as we do from a third of our cancers being environmental. It was Nixon that created the EPA.
Yes,
but Amy, do you see in this congressional environment any hope of a bipartisan investigation that's objective the way that you just described?
It can only be done if the people who work for the EPA do not put forward bad faith assertions. Don't operate in a vacuum. You can't isolate a reaction from its cause.
Of course, EPA has to stop environmental damage.